Shalom, family. Thanks for taking a minute to listen. One of the things that I wanted to present today deals with the people in Israel who call themselves Jews. One of the things that always stood out to me in my understanding of the scriptures, having been raised in the Christian church and doctrine, and even writing a Christian newsletter, which I had called The Wire, for about 5 years. One of the things that I always questioned about the Christian doctrine and this nation that I had at once attributed to being God's chosen people was the fact that the nation of Israel, according to Christian teachings and the Bible, was that the Hebrew people, led by Moses, left Egypt, in which they were in bondage, slavery. In fact, the name Egypt, Mizraim, means house of bondage. Egypt, in the Christian teaching, always was said to represent the world, the system, and of course, bondage. The promised land where they were headed, of course, represented God's kingdom, heaven, and the way to get from one to the other was, of course, by faith, belief. And the Bible does teach that. The reason why the children of Israel who left Egypt were unable to enter into the promised land and ended up wandering in the wilderness for 40 years was because of their unbelief. They could not enter into the promised land in unbelief or in sin. Even Moses was denied entry because of his unfaithful or disobedient act of striking the rock twice. These things are known in the Christian church. This is just basic Christian doctrine. So if the Israelites left Egypt as an example of bondage to go to the promised land as an example of the kingdom, and in fact, heaven, and the way to get there was by faith, belief, how are these people who call themselves Jews in the promised land in complete, total unbelief as a nation? Even when Israel was in the land, once they had settled and came to be in the land and set everything up according to God's will, once they were there and began to sin and turn against Yah, he kicked them out. Their unbelief. He sent other nations to remove them from his land. Assyria, Babylon, Greece, Rome. Every time they lived in sin in the land, for any period of time, they were removed and sent into bondage. So how is it that these people are supposedly in the promised land, have been there now for 70 years, in complete, total rejection of Yah, of Yahushua, of the covenant, of the commandments? I mean, Tel Aviv is supposedly the most LGBTQ, whatever, friendly city in the world. And these people remain in the land. As a Christian, how do you square that circle? How do you justify these people who are in the land. And I had one Christian brother say, well, they'll get saved in time. So you're saying that the sinners can go to heaven, sinners can enter into Yah's kingdom, and they'll get it together after they're there. So you can do whatever you want to do, live however you want to live, sin any way you want to sin. God will receive you into his everlasting kingdom, and you can work on getting yourself straight once you get there. That's basically what you're saying. This makes no sense. This does not add up. You know it's not true. We are the Hebrew people, and we have awakened to who we are after having been deceived by the nations. So I hope that this wakes up some of you Christian people that are in churches being deceived about everything. Wake up. The jig is up. It's over. God is coming back for his people. He's coming to save his people. We're the ones that need to be saved. We're the ones that have been mistreated, enslaved. When have those other people over there ever been in slavery? Have you checked the record? When have they been in slavery? I don't understand how I could have been so deceived. But the devil is a deceiver. And the scripture says he deceives the whole world. I just am thankful that Father Yah woke me up and gave me the understanding that he has, and I hope he'll do the same for you. Ask him. Thanks.